everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Thursday and it's July 29th. We have one meeting to tell you about today, and it is the Third Water Conservation Committee, and that'll be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. That will be in the boardroom and also virtually, and you can follow along at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. Now, on our show today, we have Sterling Financial with Dan Oweiler, who of course is always very helpful with our finances and our retirement today. There's some things that are coming down the pike and he wanted to let you know about them. And then we speak with Dr. Ivan Ho of ProSmiles, and he is always very nice to speak with and very informative. So we'll have both of those coming up right after our commercial breaks. Let's take a look at our weather today. Of course, it is none other than gorgeous, and of course, better than New York or the Midwest or anywhere else in the United States for that matter. Ooh, it's a crisp AM, but we are going to be warming up to 84, 68, and tomorrow is looking gorgeous, 83, 66. Saturday, 84, 64, Sunday, 84, 63, and Monday, 83, 68. So pretty even across the board, looking pretty nice for the week and the weekend. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:01, and our sunset will be at 7:53. And thank you, Joel, for sending in this photo of a very nice lighthouse in York, Maine. So we appreciate you sending that in. And of course, if you have a photo that you would like to share with our community, and it's somewhere around here, Laguna Woods, a gorgeous destination of some sort, maybe you've been there or maybe you'd like to go, please email us a high-resolution photo to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, stay tuned. We'll come back and we will have Sterling Financial.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to take me on vacation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me.
Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Contact us today.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dan Oweiler from Sterling Financial. And of course, he is here to tell us about some interesting things for our retirement.
Hello, Lisa.
Well, Dan, thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
How are you surviving the heat?
Yes, because I'm in air conditioning.
They're better than most of us then.
Well, when you're inside all day.
That's right. But luckily, I actually purchased solar on my house a couple of years ago, and now I can run my air conditioning all day, and that doesn't cost.
Nice. I know. Then you're not paying those horrible fees that they all seem to do. So there's a couple of things for our retirement regarding taxes.
Well, I always have people ask me about the tax law proposals that are coming down the pipeline, so I thought it might be good to talk about some of those today.
Sure, go right ahead.
Well, the things that are making news are three things. One is the top tax rate going up. Right now, the top tax bracket is about 37%, and they want to raise that to around 40%. But the thing about it is and it may not impact many of us because that top tax bracket right now is like $632,000, but they want to lower that to $500,000. So you're going to be impacted on that, Lisa. So.
Well, that was a good try, Dan.
No, but they want to lower the bracket or the income down to $500,000, so more people will be paying the top bracket. That could or couldn't. It's not a big issue, but the other two are really strong points that people have big opinions about, and that is, first is the capital gains rate. President Biden has said they want to reward people who work, not people with wealth. And the capital gains rate right now, the top bracket is 20%, and he wants to double that to 40%.
Oh, boy.
And so he says only the wealthy have capital gains because they have lots of stocks and things like that. So he wants them to pay the same amount on their capital gains that they do on their income taxes, which penalizes people for investing and getting long-term capital gains. But he says, I want to reward the people that are working rather than the people that are wealthy. Well, that's going to be a disincentive for businesses to invest in investments and things like that. People to go out and invest in real estate or their stocks and bonds or whatever it is. And so those are some pretty massive changes in regards to the capital gains rate.
Now, capital gains also apply to home sales.
That's correct.
So I think it must have been the last year and a couple of years. It was if you made more than $500,000 equity once you sold your home, then you needed to pay taxes on that, capital gains tax.
For a couple. That's for a
couple. That was for a couple, right? Okay.
So a single is 250,000. So okay. If you made more than 250,000, you would have to pay capital gains. But if you invested it into another house, you bought a house or something like that, you didn't have to do that if you're in the same county. Okay, so if I move from, let's say, Laguna Hills down to San Clemente, I'm still in Orange County, so I don't have to worry about that because it's where you're investing outside of where you're moving from that you get hit with those capital gains rate and the new real estate tax. Right, but that's only if it was over that certain amount. Now what you're saying, 500,000, like you said. Right, but now what is that going to be the same then with this new capital gains percentage? Well, it is. You still have the 250 and 500 if you're married. You still have that for your house, but if you get bumped up into that, and if you're taking more than that, it's not unusual to have that in today's market. You know, you could have bought a house in, the 70s, and when you retire, it's now worth, $1 million. Right. And you've got $600,000 of capital gains. You have 500,000 as a couple. That means you have to claim $100,000 of capital gains on your taxes at 40%. That's $40,000 of taxes that you would have in that. And so in today's market here in Southern California, it's not hard to get bumped into that problem. And so that's causing, a lot of businesses in the stock market in general of being a little bit cautious if they're going to raise that capital gains rate. Because if you buy a stock and it goes up 100% and you've got some capital gains, you're going to be taxed twice as much as you are on regular. It's just not a good thing. No, it's not a good thing, and especially if people who are working hard and let's say they're currently in a particular level, and then they've done such a great job in over the years that now they're getting more money, they get promotions, and maybe they bought a different house and then they sold it, just because how lucky. Right. Then they get, the market has made it go up. Right. Right. And then they get penalized. So it's kind of like, exactly. What do you have to look forward to? Well, I'm glad that it went up, not down, but at the same time, but that is a big thing. But the other thing that's causing a lot of issues is what they call the stepped up on basis at death. So let's assume that my parents bought a house for $50,000 when they were young, lived in their house all their life, and they sold it for $600,000. Or when they die, the house is worth $600,000. Under current law, that $600,000 becomes your new cost basis. So children could sell the house, not have any capital gains on that, and walk away with the $600,000 without being taxed. That's under current law. Okay. They want to do away with the stepped up basis. And so that means that the new basis wouldn't be stepped up to $600,000. They would have to sell the house, pay $550,000 of capital gains, and at the new rate, that would be $225,000 of tax. So a lot lot of my clients have held stocks over time. They've held stocks for 10, 15, 20 years. They've accumulated a lot of top stock portfolio and a lot of capital gains on that. When they pass away, that stock portfolio right now can be sold without any tax consequences. Under the new proposal, they're saying the kids or the heirs are going to have to pay a lot of taxes on the stock portfolio because they're going to assume the stock basis of when the parents bought that. So there's going to be a lot of bloodshed going on in regards to Congress and things like that. So those are the two big issues, the capital gains and the stepped up in basis. I don't think the stepped up in basis is going to ever pass. That's just my opinion.
Oh, I can't imagine anyone.
But it's going to cause a lot of tax problems, and we are going to need to look at some estate planning features in regards to that if it does, because life insurance is going to be much more needed to pay those taxes and things like that. So,
exactly.
you know, Congress, it makes it, you know, Congress sometimes make it sound good. Hey, they need to quote unquote pay their fair share or whatever it is. Well, people are taxed to death right now. You know, every time you turn around, you're paying property taxes, sales tax, gas tax, income tax, capital gains tax. And now Congress has learned that people don't like the word taxes, so they call them fees, you know. I mean, I have shared this experience before in my seminars. My wife and I went over to Hawaii earlier this year, and we paid more in airport fees for our rental car than we did for the rental car itself. And so, you know, it's crazy, you know, how you pay bed taxes. And I mean, we're just taxed to death right now. And you can't blame people for wanting to avoid, there's nothing wrong with avoiding taxes. It's evading taxes that you run into problems on. If I use the tax law and the tax code to lower my taxes, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But people in Congress, whether it's one party or the other, one party seems to be more concerned about it than the other, but they get concerned that the wealthy aren't paying their fair share. Well, 80% of the people are considered wealthy and they're paying taxes, you know, and so it's, I mean, 20% of the people are wealthy and they're paying 80% of the taxes.
Right. That's what I thought you were going to say, because I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that does.
Well, we're not all wealthy like you, Lisa. You know?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not at all. So funny you should say that. But yeah, it is. You're right. We feel like we're being taxed all the time, and I think what's most concerning is the one that you mentioned, where it's a step up, because, you know, isn't that considered inheritance?
Yeah, it's an inheritance, and you know, prior to under current law, an individual can give up, I think it's gone up to $11 million right now.
Okay.
So a couple can actually give 22 million. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. Parents can actually give $22 million to their heirs without any taxes.
Okay.
Well, if the stepped up in basis comes into play, that's going to create a mess, you know, and it's unfair really, because they paid taxes all of their life on all of their earnings and everything, and now they want to tax it when it goes to the kids. So, you know, government officials are always looking to find new ways to get income, and unfortunately it keeps coming on the back of us.
Well, this is right. I mean, we've spent an awful lot of money over the last couple of years to help offset things that have happened in our, you know, world with COVID, and we're finding prices have increased incredibly across the board for everything that we're doing, as well as now they're finding ways to pay that back, and unfortunately, we're all going to be paying that price.
Well, the unfortunate thing is they're still giving away free money.
Yes.
You know? And that's what's unfortunate is it's, if California has a budget surplus, they shouldn't be giving the money away free. They should be lowering taxes, you know, but that's unheard of in today's political environment. But
Exactly.
it's just unfortunate that, these things are coming down the pipeline, and if they pass, it's going to be pretty brutal on all of us.
Right. Well,
Not just us. The money that we are passing down. I've been in this business for 35, 40 years, and the longer I'm in this, the more clients I have pass away, and that money going from one generation to the other, it's like $3 or $4 trillion, and the government looks at that and their mouth starts to drool, and so it's unfortunate.
Well, I'm sure that our residents will be able to look to you for information regarding this. So we thank you for the information, and we will see you next time.
Hey, good to talk with you, Lisa. We'll keep our fingers crossed about these changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.
During the pandemic, thousands turned to Age Well for help. Since March of last year, Age Well has provided Orange County seniors with more than 40,000 grab-and-go lunches, 500,000 home-delivered meals, as well as transportation and case management services. We were there for you then, and we're here for you now. Stay strong. Stay well. Age well. Learn more about our services or how to get involved today at myagewell.org.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dr. Ivan Ho, who is here on behalf of his dental practice. Well, Dr. Ho, thank you again for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great, Lisa. Thank you. And thanks for having me again. It's good to be back.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, off camera, we talked a little bit about some of your services, and we look forward to hearing more about those going forward. Today, I think it's great to talk about, what we look for in a dentist. There are a lot of dentists out there, and what would identify with our residents an important factor to know about the dentists?
That's a great question. I'm very familiar with it, with the unique needs of residents in Laguna Woods. I've been here for, 31 years, is serving Laguna Woods in Southern Orange County. And my parents actually just purchased a place, and we'll be moving in soon, so I'm very excited for them. I feel that the seniors or residents of Laguna Woods want what most average, honest citizens want is a fair, a knowledgeable dentist that does superior work at a fair and honest price and an honest answer.
Right. And dentistry can be expensive. And if you don't have insurance, which possibly some of the residents here do not, out-of-pocket prices, especially for crowns, can be pretty costly, huh?
It's all relative, Lisa, but yes, the overall people do rate dentistry as the expensive side, yes. And we do have a service to help residents. My parents, for example, they do not have dental insurance. They've been retired for a while. And I have a new technology. It's an intraoral scanner, which you scan the prep tooth instead of taking the gooey impressions, and we can mill it right here in-house in the same day, which, for lack of a better term, cuts out the middleman. So therefore that saves some money there.
Oh, okay. That's a great idea. As I mentioned, I think to you earlier, that my brother is also a dentist up in Santa Barbara. And so, he has one of those too. And I really think that it's helpful because not only does it save you time, but you're right, it does cut out that middleman, so you don't have to pay the extra person to make that crown. Now, one thing that I know you have talked about before is that residents of Laguna Woods Village are on a fixed income. Any retired person's on a fixed income. So when it comes to really planning out their dental care, what do you suggest that they do?
Ask for several options. There's always several ways to treat a mouth. So there's also the ideal, the middle road, which is always a good road, or the temporary road that we can lead to something more permanent in the future.
Mm-hmm. So in the case of, let's say they had a tooth pulled some time ago and then they never replaced it, what would they do?
Depends on how much your teeth have moved, which almost guaranteed 100%. The mouth changes, the body changes, teeth has movement the best way to replace a missing tooth are something fixed like an implant versus a removable denture made out of acrylic with hooks and metal.
You know, implants, I've talked to a couple of other people about implants, and I think I'm still a little confused about how implants actually work. So you tell me just briefly kind of an overview of what the process is.
Sure, Lisa, I'd be happy to. But when a patient has a tooth missing, the bone starts to resorb. And that's one main advantage of having an implant too. It maintains the bone. Bone is grown under stress, such as when you're chewing or mastication. The force of the tooth, the chewing, transferred down into the bone, therefore it maintains bone. But once your tooth and root is gone, the bone starts to atrophy. So a dental implant, for lack of better terms, like a screw that's screwed into the bone, made out of titanium usually, or now they make them out of ceramic as well. And once a screw has integrated into the body, which takes a few months to be ideal, then we put a crown on top of that, and it acts like a normal tooth.
So what would happen if so are you saying that if somebody's bone atrophied, you can still later put in an implant, or what actually has to happen?
That is correct. There will be an extra procedure called bone grafting, where we actually grow bone. So
Wow. Where do you get the bone from?
Good question. There's the idea, the golden standard is called the autologous bone, which is from the donor, will be from the patient themselves. Depends on how much bone. Sometimes we get a block from the opposite side of the jaw or the symphysis, or most of the time we just get donor bone. We just pick it off the shelf and put it on there.
Just pick it off the shelf.
Yes.
I don't know if that sounds creepy or not. But, hey, man, whatever you guys do behind those doors, we don't want to know.
Funny, Lisa.
No, that's great that you have those capabilities. I think that's wonderful. Now, what happens in the case of somebody who is ill and maybe they have rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, COPD? What are some of those things that is happening? Is something happening in their mouth to contribute to some of those problems? Or is it the other way around?
I'm glad you asked. Many evidence have actually proven fact that many of the disease, just a systemic disease, starts from the oral cavity. Very important to maintain healthy gums and teeth. Gum disease, which most Americans have, about 80%, attributes to many of those. Actually, I have a cheat sheet listed: Alzheimer, dementia, diabetes, pancreatic cancer, COPD, bronchitis, just to name a few, directly related to those. So having a healthy oral mouth or healthy teeth are very important, especially the gums.
So do you recommend that our residents get checked once a year, twice a year? What's usually the going idea?
It's really funny. Most people think going to your dentist twice a year, but do you know where that came from? Not from a dentist or not from a dental society. It came from advertisement from toothpaste. See your dentist regularly twice a year. That's where that came from.
Oh.
Is that amazing?
That is amazing. We all thought that. But you know what? I don't think my insurance pays for 2 times a year.
I mean, unfortunately, sometimes the insurance company does dictate how often the patient comes. But everyone is different. Twice a year or every 6 months is a good average time. Some may require more. Some actually may require a little less. But things happen in the mouth, and just like any health issues, the early detection, early prevention is always the best. So twice a year is a good general recommendation on my part.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the information. I appreciate it. And the next time that we get together, let's talk about how you make that crown.
I would love to. Thank you. Has that been 10 minutes already? Boy, that went by
10 minutes. I know it goes by fast, but thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And we'll be right back after this.
At Pro Smiles OC, you get Orange County's best and most experienced dentist. Dr. Ivan Ho is an award-winning cosmetic and implant dentist that has been treating patients in South OC and Laguna Woods for over 30 years. Safety and cleanliness is our #1 priority, and now your routine dental work is more comfortable than ever. We use digital x-rays to minimize radiation and digital scans for crowns and inlays in-house, allowing patients to leave with final restorations in the same appointment. Let Dr. Ho and his team give you a reason to smile. Call Pro Smiles OC today.
Welcome back. Just a few announcements we'd like to share with you today. So this weekend there's going to be gold going on here right at Ayers Hotel. Excuse me, it'll be the Laguna Woods Gold Show, and you can bring your broken, unused gold jewelry, or if you have gold or silver coins, you can turn that into instant cash. They will be taking all of that, and that is this Saturday, or Sunday, July 31st from 10 to 5, and it's being put on by Shilling Gold. Now, if you can't make it to that, they do provide in-home appointments. You can call 949-763-4341. And Kids Give to Kids, which will have an open house also on July 31st. And these are the guys that take in lots of different kinds of toys and end up giving them to children in need. So if you would like to check them out and visit with them, you can go ahead and do this on July 31st from 11 to 4. And to find out more about that, you can go to kidsgivetokids.org. Now, the Old Pros are going to be doing something fun Tuesday, August 3rd in Clubhouse 2 in the Sequoia Room. Drama, comedy, and surprise. So you want to check out the Old Pros. They've always got lots of fun stuff going on. So you can check them out and find out more information at oldpros.org, ocoldpros.org. All right, let's take a look at our weather before we head out to enjoy our lovely day. Looking pretty warm all week, 84, 68 today, 83, 66. Saturday and Sunday also 84 with overnights in the 60s. Monday, 83, 68, so everything is looking quite nice. Have a great day in the village. We'll be back here again tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another guest with us in studio. You can always rewatch our program at 12:30 and 5 right here on Village Television. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
There are many treasures within the walls of Laguna Woods Village. The foundation of Laguna Woods Village is one of them. Nowhere in the nation has a community embraced a commitment to assist its own residents with temporary emergency support. Since 1997, the foundation makes that support available through donations by individuals, clubs, organizations, and bequests. Help the foundation to help the real treasures within the village, our friends and neighbors.
City of Hope is speeding cancer research and treatment to Orange County.
Go get a second opinion, third opinion. Go see somebody who has the expertise, because nowadays there is just so much research in every type of cancer that it's hard for one doctor to keep up to date with all the novel therapeutics and etc. So I think it's extremely, extremely important.